Hello class, welcome to our fifth and final lesson of the skill-related fitness unit, reaction time. Now reaction time is usually specific to your sport or activity, so depending on what the demands are of that sport or activity could determine what factor reaction time is for you. So today we're going to look at what is reaction time, what are some factors that affect reaction time, and what are some ways we can improve reaction time. What is reaction time? Reaction time is the interval time between the presentation of a stimulus and the initiation of the muscular response to that stimulus. So if you look at the graphic, first you're going to see the stimulus, then your brain has to process that. That's the recognition part. And then it has to have a response to that. So it has to send a signal down to the muscle and create that action. So the faster our bodies can do that process, the faster our reaction times are going to be. Now there's two main types of reaction time. There's simple reaction time, and that means there's only a single possible response. And there's choice reaction time, where there's several different possible responses. So simple reaction time is going to be faster because there's only one option. The choice could have many options, so that's going to be slower for reaction time. But there is a limit to that. If you look at the graph where it says Hicks law, there's a point where you keep adding more and more stimuli. The reaction time just doesn't keep getting higher. It levels out at some point. So it's not just going to keep elevating with more stimuli. Let's examine some factors affecting reaction time. So there's a graphic I have on there that has some different factors, and then I also added a few at the bottom. So first, again, just like a lot of other things, as we get older, which I already know, your reaction time is going to get slower. Also in gender, males are going to have quicker reaction time than females. But here's the good news, ladies. Your reaction time is going to reduce less with age. So there is that to look at. Stimulus intensity, if it's higher, it improves reaction time. Again, that's probably because it gives us more of an opportunity for our senses to react to the situation. Interesting one, tall people have slower reaction times. And they assume that's because the signal has to travel farther when somebody's taller. Arousal levels, again, that's important that, and you know that in sporting events, you don't want to get too hyped up for an event. You just want to have the correct level. Sometimes meditation, breathing techniques and things can help with that. Anticipating situations, your sensory system, getting the cues, so we're able to figure out what's going on. Your psychological state, again, if people are in different moods or somebody gets inside their head during a game, that can affect their performance. Experience, if you've been on a sport team, you know that, or even individual sports, if somebody has a lot more experience, they usually perform better just because they've done that before. Time available, again, if they're pressed for time, as you know, at the end of a game, when there's less time, people tend to make mistakes because there's that pressure there. And then that state of alertness. And I put down there sleep. So if you didn't get enough sleep, you're prone to make more mistakes and your reactions are going to be a lot slower. Let's look at some ways to improve reaction time. I'm not going to go through each one of these. I'm just going to highlight a few points. So practice, again, like your coaches probably harp on you, why practice is important. Again, we want to make that response automatic. You know that you can't think on the field of the court because if you wait, it's too late. Experience we mentioned before, that mental rehearsal. Again, if we practice it even in our mind, things are going to happen. We can react faster. Cue detection. So cues are things that give us clues to what's going to happen. So if we can see cues and figure out what the opponent might be doing, that can help us react even faster. We talked about before arousal motivation. Again, we want to be at the right level. So a lot of the athletes do that in preparation before a game. They try to calm themselves. They have different rituals to get themselves ready for an activity. Warm-up, you want to make sure physically and mentally you're ready to go. Anticipation. Anticipation is where you try to predict what's going to happen next. Again, that's why in a game you're in that ready position. You're ready to move. You're ready to react to different situations. And a lot of these areas are going to improve our reaction time if we can almost figure out what's going to happen before it happens and practice those things and mentally and physically prepare ourselves for those situations. We're going to improve our reaction time. In summary, hopefully you gain some knowledge and skills here to help yourself improve your own reaction time for your activities. Again, what is reaction time? It's that the time from receiving that stimulus to initiating response to that stimulus. And it can be simple reaction time where there's only one possible response, or choice reaction time where there may be many different possibilities. Some factors affecting our reaction time are things like age, gender, fitness levels, psychological states, the intensity of the stimulus, the time available, experience, state of alertness. All those things go together, they're going to have an impact on our reaction times. And then we can improve reaction time by anticipating the situation, trying to predict what's going to happen, looking for cues. Again, what are some things our opponent or the situation are showing us that might give us a clue to what's going to happen? Attention focus, that gives us the ability to focus on different areas of the activity. Arousal level, again, preparing ourselves mentally, how we're going to react psychologically to the situation. And practice. Practice. That's always going to help us. So those are some different ways to improve reaction time. So think about how reaction time could help you in your sport or activity, and what are some ways you can improve. You might do some things already, or what are some other things you learned here that you can incorporate into improving your reaction time.